On my second day in Mostar, I drove to Dubrovnik, Croatia to enjoy sun and sea and explore the city. The route from Mostar to Dubrovnik is simply fascinating. It's full of fabulous nature, sun and sea. The first thing which I wanted to do on arrival was simply to enjoy the sea and swim. While searching for parking near the old city, I came to know that the prices here are on a league of their own. While I was walking in the old city, the first impression which I got was that this is a beautiful, well-preserved medieval old city. Dubrovnik is a fantastic city which I highly recommend, yet it may be expensive for the average tourist. On the third day in Mostar, after I finished shooting around the old bridge, I headed to the waterfalls of Kravica. If you like to relax in front of such a beautiful view or even swim, then the waterfalls of Kravica are an excellent choice for you. When you are finished, you can take a ride upwards for a small amount of money. After I arrived in Mostar, I headed to the Bingo supermarket to do some shopping before leaving the following day, as I was doing all the time during my stay here. While shooting on the last day after checkout, I lost control over the drone because of heavy wind. After having evaluated the flight data in the cloud back at home, I was able to find out the GPS landing position. That's why I returned to Mostar on the 7th of October, and I was extremely happy to find it on the following day at the exact position. Safe, untouched, unbroken. Thank you, DJI. This is the last vacation day. I'm heading now to the Zeljava Air Base, which is one of the remains glories of former Yugoslavia. I have just arrived. It looks quite abandoned, but yet very mysterious. Before we further explore the destroyed airbase, let's have a historical background in order to understand what was the motivation to build it. Yugoslavia was situated between East and West. During the Cold War, which was mounting, the Soviet Union took over Hungary in 1956. This was an alarming signal for Yugoslavia, and therefore, on the one side, it sought new political partners. Upon the efforts of Tito, Nehru, the President of India, Nasser, the President of Egypt, and others, then an aligned movement was established in 1961 in a historical conference in Beograd, Belgrade. On the other hand, it needed to intercept any foreign attack, and therefore the construction of this former airbase was started in the second part of the 1950s under the code name Object Petstopet Klek, a construction which lasted for 2 decades. As the following document shows, the CIA knew of this project 10 years after its start. The Zeljava Air Base consisted of tunnels of the length of 3.5 kilometers beside the runways and could house up to 60 MiG-21 jet fighters. Besides intercepting any foreign threat, the airbase supported reconnaissance activities by fighter jets. It was the largest underground airport and military base in former Yugoslavia and one of the largest in Europe. It was a state-of-the-art project at that time and costed between $6 and $8 billion in nowadays calculation. President Tito was proud of the Zeljava Air Base, here to be seen for the first time in 1969. He also was very proud of it in front of other statesmen. Stimmt. Wie lange sind Sie schon da? Da, jetzt heute. Ich bin schon 2 Wochen unterwegs in Bosnien.
Okay, das sind wir abgesehen. Wir sind schon 5 Wochen, also total 4 Wochen unterwegs. Wir sind mal komplett die Balkantour. Wow. Mit Albanien alles.
Genau, ja, der. And these were also tourists from one of the German-speaking countries. And in fact, all of the tourists which I met in the Zeljava airbase on this day were German-speaking. That tourists are allowed to be in this place, which was highly classified, is the true evidence of the tragedy of former Yugoslavia. I highly recommend watching the following video. It is one of the best, if not the best video about the Jalieva airbase. It is very deep inside, and if you don't have a guide here, it can be a problem. The processes of a civil war were already ongoing and unfolding, including pilots losing trust and deserting the military service. And so, the Yugoslavian National Army, which has reportedly a majority of Serbian generals, blew it up on the 16th of May 1992, as it was retreating following the independence declaration of Croatia and Slovenia. As a teenager in the 90s, I was asking myself, what did the players of the former national team of Yugoslavia thought about the war? Dejan Savicevic, the player for the former national team of Yugoslavia and AC Milan, talked about this in one interview. After Jalieva, I left to Zagreb for a hotel there, and on the following day, I made my way back to Germany.